Hello everyone. Thank you for joining in. It's great weather here in the northern part of the India, so I'm hoping wherever you are logging in from, the weather is treating you well. So we are back with yet another session of Payoneer Parichay. Through this initiative of Payoneer Parichay, we try to help you, our customers, understand the very basic yet critical nuances of selling online better, discuss on the most pinching of the issues which you people are currently facing, and also in turn helping you grow your business. And today, on these particular lines, we have something very interesting to discuss, something which most of our customers have been looking forward to on what exactly to do, and that is how do we know what is selling well on Amazon and on other e-commerce marketplaces and what is not? How do we know which are the categories which are witnessing huge growth while some are not growing that well? Or essentially, how do we know which are the categories that we should be focusing upon? And for same, we today have Ms. Priyanka Bohra from SellerApp with us. She's currently leading the market and business partnerships at SellerApp and has a rich experience of over 10 years in marketing, finance, advertisement, and also helping build brands and managing business growth. So over to you, Priyanka, now to help understand these things better for our customers.
Thank you, Prateek. Thank you. I think this has been such a hot topic, and every customer, whichever level that they are, whether of course more so at the beginner level or even at advanced level, if they're looking to even expand their business, I think this topic makes so much sense, and it totally resonates and connects with a lot of the audience out there who are there to sell their products on the e-commerce marketplaces. So today I will be decoding this a little bit, and let's just get straight into it. Before that, I'll just introduce myself a little bit and talk about my background. So I have been working for a little over 10 years, and primarily my experience has been in finance. I've been into wealth management, investment banking, and I've worked across different cross-functional diverse teams across geographies, Singapore, Dubai, and recently before moving back to India in the US, I've worked with firms like Prudential, Morgan Stanley, and then TD Ameritrade. Before making my foray into this digital marketing space. And right now, I'm very, very excited to be in this era where, this is only growing and we see a lot of trends and everything coming, and there's a lot of future for this e-commerce growth. So, right place at the right time, I would say. And I'm very happy to have made this transition about 2 years ago. So yeah, here I am. I'm heading the marketing operations here. I'm director of marketing and business partnerships at SellerApp, and I will be talking about what's selling, what's not selling, how to look, what data metrics to cover, what are some of the trends that you can look out for, and so on and so forth. So again, what to sell and bringing down the $1 million question, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so really, let's now, this is really the meat of the session where what to sell on Amazon. And when it really comes to selling on Amazon, the single most important part of your strategy would be your product selection. As I said, even before you look into the sourcing bit, it is about which category to get into. What is it that I want to start selling on? You never want to underestimate the role, what it has on your business success. And also you don't want to choose the wrong product and let your sales and profits, of course, suffer. So this is one very, very important aspect that you need to figure out before you get into all the operations bit or the cost bit and all of that. So before we take a look at some of those important product trends that has been over the past year or two, let me also tell you a little bit about the metrics that we typically here at SellerApp also use to identify the right product or the right product idea, if you may. So starting
Priyanka, I think I'm able to see slide 7. Uh,
oops,
I
sorry.
yeah, just I thought.
I'm sorry, I
uh,
just moved my hand.
no worries, no worries.
There you
Yep,
go.
yep, perfect.
Okay. So demand, as you know, a very sustainable, business is only possible from a product which is, of course, has very high, demand or competition, has a very viable market demand. And surprisingly, this is also a validation check that most sellers typically really fail to, do. So the sell metric algorithm that we have really verifies the demand of any Amazon product by three major factors. If the product is trending upwards, of course, there are some macro trends that also we look at. If there are any major trend shifts that has happened over a period of time, and of course the seasonality of the product. So how do you really typically interpret this metric is extremely important. Essentially, you can never really understand what products are really popular among your target audience, so you'll really get an overview of the consumer interest in the specific product. Then coming to revenue potential. I'm sorry, I keep moving this. Revenue potential. Revenue potential estimates the expected revenue that has generated in a month by the product against the category you're selling. So if you're really selling in the high priced products that have very few orders compared to the other categories, we've really got you covered on that as well. There is an opportunity score that really accurately calculates your monthly revenue potential. Okay, third one I would talk about is competition. I would say competitive analysis is, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, everybody knows how the competitive landscape. You need to have enough knowledge about it. You need to be really abreast about it, where it's a really crucial part of your product research process. In the opportunity score, of course, this particular metric really helps you understand how many sellers are in this game, are really selling the similar product that you're actually searching for, looking to sell. You will typically get a really better idea of what type of products and brands are ranking up in your category and really how big they are. So we also analyze other competitors, metrics such as market share or voice of share, each seller, and also the brand's popularity that really had the most sales or reviews. That's what we the factor that also we look in, which kind of plays an important role. Profit margin again indicates the possible profit that you can make that can be generated typically by selling that product after deducting all those overhead costs and of course all those e-commerce marketplace related costs as well associated with the product. So we really suggest you to look for a product which has good profit margins. The reason, of course, I mean, everybody's here to make profits and have that fine difference and arbitrage rather, so to speak. So finding products with decent margins is really a sustainable way of doing business. And in the end, I mean, that's all that matters. I would say, you are typically selling a product to make your margins and make your profits. So another tip I would say here at this point would be to find a product which has a low sourcing price, because that, of course, increases your profit in turn. And also a good product with a low sourcing price goes really a long way in determining high profit margins for that particular product. So I would say, keep that in mind. Overhead costs. I think as an Amazon seller, you really need to understand that the costs associated with selling on Amazon to estimate your actual profits that you will get. Overhead cost really includes the price of sourcing the product, whether it's a fulfillment, product, it's by Amazon or merchant, FBA, FBM, all of those kind of things. Of course, Amazon fees, shipping, logistics, warehousing, storage, all the expenses that are, really associated with selling your product, particularly on Amazon is what I'm talking about. So I keep mentioning Amazon, sorry about that, but it applies to all the other marketplaces as well. And, these costs also really depend on, which country you're selling in. Also, high overhead costs will deeply affect your profit margins. So you want to be wary of that. And it's also one of the most, I would say, overlooked factors during product research. People are thinking, okay, this has low demand, high competition, all of those things, but they typically forget to talk about or look into the profit side of things or the cost side of things. So I would really recommend doing that and not ignoring this bit. Sellers, tend to kind of ignore the additional costs or the hidden costs, so to speak, associated with Amazon selling, only to kind of face it later and then seeing like a hole being burnt in their pocket. So again, it's you want to do this right at the time of sourcing your product. Okay. All right. Now, what makes a great product? Now, okay, before you also do your Amazon product research, I think there's a quick checklist that we've created, of what is required to come up with the right product. And with these products, your like these checklists, your job typically gets a little bit easier, simpler. On this again based on some of the metrics or the data points that we've collected, and also some of the patterns that we've seen. Also some of the snippets that we've taken from this is from a report that we've created for US Prime Day India as well as US Prime Day US, what happened recently. Some of those trends, looking at that, we've kind of created this list that, this is something that we've noticed in terms of our sellers who are selling on Amazon. So number one, I think it would be choosing products which fall between the range of $10 to $100. I think that is what we have seen, at least for the past year or two. Since I've been here, this is what I've noticed, and I'm kind of, coagulating everything and putting it together. And this is, of course, from the most recent one that happened this year. Choose products that make at least minimum of 10 sales a day. Again, I think similar products should feature in the bestseller rank for at least 5,000 in the main category. That is another very important aspect. The top three related keywords should have about 50,000 plus monthly searches on Amazon. You also want to choose a non-seasonal product because, as it's very self-explanatory, seasonal products will only do well in seasons and not throughout the year. So you want to choose something which kind of is high in demand throughout the year, not just like something like Halloween decorations, which is primarily there only for holiday season and so on and so forth. I think also select products that can be, of course, sold all year round. Make sure that you are able to source your product quickly and, of course, easily, because if there's a constant demand, then there will be no supply on shortage, so to speak. Also choose small and light-weighted products, ideally 2 to 3 pounds. Of course, your shipping costs also get saved in that bit. So obviously that becomes another thing where we talked about profit margins. You also know brand names or trademarks should be associated with the product. It should not be very fragile. Choose a product or niche where you can really expand your brand with related products as you scale your business. So those are some of the things that we have kind of looked into and I've put it down together. Now, choosing the right price. Again, finding the ideal price range is crucial before you really, decide what to sell. And again, this analysis is based off Prime Day 22, which happened 2 months ago. 25% of all the customers spent between $50 to $100 on their orders, and the average order spend was about 54.5. And if through the graph, you can actually see the percentages of what the different ranges has been of how. And again, price, I think it's a very an important factor that leads to a successful Amazon business. So no matter how skillful you are, or how you are at like solving your market challenges, if you're really not able to price your product and put it in that category, people will not really be inclined to buy your product. So I would say the value for money is extremely important and really a stimulant for customer purchases. So again, these are some of the metrics that we've kind of shared with you here. Okay, so moving on to what are the most popular categories on Amazon. Again, we have divided by percentages. These are some of the trends that we've seen, again, just in Prime Day. But one thing that I've also seen is this electronics particularly has pretty much been like ruling the roost across the year, whether it's been a holiday season, whether it's been like Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever it is. Electronics is one category that I've seen that always kind of, is on the top list or the top performer amongst all the categories. So again, electronics, household essentials, home and garden, apparel, health and beauty, and these are some of these top selling categories that we've seen consistently perform well on Amazon.
Priyanka, in this one, we are talking about majorly about 2022. So, has there been any category which has sort of grown a lot on the in the past couple of years, or has this trend been relatively consistent that electronics has been the top category and household follows it,
So
or how exactly is it?
So I feel like, the percentages may vary, that you can see maybe some goes high and low, but primarily, I think, and especially like these household supplies, home and garden, then health and beauty, of course, grocery. Particularly, I'm talking about the last 2 years that I've seen that since the lockdown, since the pandemic, these industries and these categories particularly have really shown a remarkable growth. And consistently for 2 years, I'm seeing that they have been the top performers. So last year we did a Prime Day report and we saw similar trends. And this year as well, we're seeing, as I said, electronics consistently for many years. I think I'm seeing electronics be on these top charts. But other than that, I think households, stationery, notebook, essentials, all of these things have kind of come up now in the last 2 years since the pandemic. So again, during
Okay.
the holiday seasons, because of seasonality, the percentages may vary, but primarily broadly, the categories will still remain the same.
Understood. Understood. Got it.
Cool. All right. So again, now trending Amazon categories for Amazon US that you should definitely look out for. And as I mentioned, these are some of these major categories that I've seen, growth, and you can see like 74% in garden outdoors, 80%, 71% in office supplies during the pandemic. A lot of the offices actually, had a lot of the offices are actually even given like certain budgets to every employee, saying that you can set up your, home office at your home. So they gave them budgets to kind of buy those standing laptops or computers and desks and so on and so forth. All of those things, notebooks, stationery supplies, those things kind of we saw an increase in that. And I think SellerApp now works with over 21,000 sellers and brands with various aspects of their business. So of course, one thing to help them find the product has been one of our biggest goals. But from our in-depth research, I think again, from the analysis that we've done in our metrics, we've seen that these categories typically have done really, really well in the last year or two. And the online home garden and especially the DIY market are becoming really the most, popular sectors in the US e-commerce with the highest turnover. I think, COVID-19, of course, contributed to this, favorable trend much, during the lockdown and so on. But outdoor
Right.
furniture and some of the examples here would be like outdoor furniture, garden equipment, all those DIY like things that you can find are really popular categories. Also, I've seen fly repellent fan. That is one of the popular products that has really sold well. Currently, it has an opportunity score of about 75.81, which is pretty good. Another, again, seasonal product, though, which I mentioned before, is holiday, Halloween decorations, which is typically for the month of October, but that's also considered as like a top performing product here, particularly in the garden, because, if you've seen the US, they have big backyards and they kind of decorate their whole garden with a lot of, Halloween stuff and all that. So that pretty much kind of shoots up during this time. That is another thing. Garden hose is another one which does really well in this category as well.
Okay.
Um, in the home and furnishing thing, as I said, I think home furnishing, products, really the sales are on the rise, especially in the e-commerce space. And again, the home decor market is really witnessing a healthy, growth trend upwards. And also, it's also catalyzed by the rising levels of disposable incomes. Again, recovery of a lot of this real estate industry, increasing urbanization rates, and of course, increasing awareness levels. I mean, a home furnishing, again, a lot of offices are still kind of following a hybrid model, or they're still following a remote model, or maybe 2-3 days work from home and work from office, sorry, and things like that. So again, this is something that we've seen rise, and a rising levels of urbanization has definitely resulted in the growth of this sector as well.
So
So I
it's
think,
not just these categories, Priyanka, which would be seeing the growth, but in these categories also we would be aware that which are the top 2 or 3 products essentially which are doing good. Like you talked about garden hoses, you talked about specific office supplies and home decor items in the home furnishing category. So it's not just category, but also breaking down that
certain,
category
yes.
level to specific products. Okay,
Mhm.
great,
Right.
great.
And also, I think, in this home and furnishing, I would say candles. Candles have done
Okay,
really well. It's also a very niche segment. Then carpets, rugs, mats, these kind of things, they've done really well as well. And
great.
then again, office supplies, it's I think Amazon's office supplies is really grabbing a lot of attention, also grabbing more wallet share, I would say, among customers,
Correct.
especially business customers now. So businesses essentially use computers, printers, and other administrative purposes, like notepads and notebooks and pens and staples, etc. All of those kind of things to carry out written communication, bookkeeping, data storage activities, so on, all of those things. So, of course, with the evolving global corporate sector is mainly supporting this demand for such products, but we've definitely seen a rise in this category as well, again in stationery, notebooks, and so on.
Right, right.
Okay. Also, this is, I'm sorry, trending products on Amazon in the UK right now, and some of these have also, I've mentioned these things, but they kind of also come from the trend that we have seen, which I just spoke about, and the reasons behind that. So in UK too, we have seen similar trends, right? Coming, we've actually really recently onboarded a client who I would not obviously name him, but we've obviously onboarded a client who wanted to expand their business to the Amazon UK marketplace. And while doing their product research, which we also came up with certain category trends and demands for them. So our experts have kind of identified these categories as well. So handbags, I think the revenue for handbags in the US marketplace alone is, it amounts to about US dollars 2.2 billion, I think, in 2022. And this market is really expected to grow annually by 6% CAGR. So from really, like, it has risen from 2002 to 2006, I would believe. I'm sorry, 2022 to 26. So it's expected to grow like by 6%. So I think personalization nowadays and a lot of customization is happening, a lot of innovation is happening within this industry. And so I think these are some of the key triggers or key drivers for the UK handbags, also contributing to, the market growth. And also these customized products have gained a lot of momentum, particularly in the European countries, I would say, such as United Kingdom. In the last 5 years. So definitely something to look out for if you guys are still planning to expand and in this marketplace, and of course thinking about which category to get into. Candle, as I mentioned before, it is a home enrichment is a term that has taken like a new meaning, or taken the this whole thing by a storm, I would say, throughout the past years. And as we were forced to stay at home, candles have been proven to be like the perfect aesthetic, or the element that you would have, not just in terms of fragrance, but also some sort of, like I said, it gives an essence to the house, which makes it look beautiful, and capture wide things like memories, pleasure, comfort, whatever you may use it for, right? So I think there's been an increasing demand for candles, for the decoration of houses, offices, for celebrating festivities. Like, of course, in India, it's Diwali. Christmas is another major factor, so driving this. So it's also a very niche segment. So we don't have enough data for this, like how much it has risen or how much it has growth. It has happened, but we know through the, again, like researches and just data analytics, that it is a very niche segment that has considerably and remarkably risen. So that's why I've put it here. Again, notebooks also have grown by like 2.4% despite increasing use of gadgets. And it's very surprising that we are on the screen all the time. We are doing all these virtual meetings, and yet people use. And trust me, I'm sitting right here. I have a notebook right next by my side. I mean, I have like notepads like this, but I still use like a hand, like I just take notes handwritten. So that also happens with people like us. So that has really, really favored the growth as well. And then, of course, children going back to school, seasonal holidays, again, for gifting purposes, birthdays, holidays, return gifts, whatever. So it has been one of the, trends as well. So guys, we also have like a full Prime Day, of course, report, and you get full, data is captured here in these insights, and you can obviously write to us at support@sellerapp.com. We're happy to share that with you, or you can sign up and you can download this from Report Central. So moving on, also I would like to talk about top products that are exported from India. And again, this is primarily just export data that I'm talking about. So I just want to make that clear, that, but also at the same time, even though, it is an export data information, it kind of resonates very well. And the products that are mentioned here are also the top selling. I mean, coincidentally or whatever it is, it's also the top selling products for marketplaces, and particularly Amazon is what I'm talking about. So that also kind of coincides together. So leather, of course, the export value of leather products from India in May 2022 was about 402.6 million. And I think about the same time previous year, which is last year, was about 271 million. So almost a 50% increase, a 48.5% increase to be precise. So, I mean, I think it explains it. We really, really export leather in bulk, and we, of course, there's a lot of demand for it too. Electronic goods, now surprisingly, this was something which I was also quite surprised with when I was doing this research, but it's something that, it also happens to be one of the most, exported items from India to the US. and other places as well. India exported about 1395.9 million worth of electronics by May 22. And that's an increase of, again, 47% from last year. And again, I mean, there are a lot of things happening on the, government side of things. Of course, we have cheap labor, the low cost of labor, combined with a lot of those tax benefits they're getting from the government of India. They're coming out with newer initiatives now that offers for companies who really manufacturing in India, sourcing locally, really aided the boom. Also, India shipped about 44 million made in India smartphones in Q2 of 2022. I mean, how cool is that? So everything from smartphones, laptops, appliances, all those home appliances, even TV, for instance. Apple is now also, of course, it had a base, a manufacturing plant in China, but now it's also looking to set up bases in countries like India and Vietnam, again, for the similar reasons where we have, cheap, accessible labor. It's a labor-intensive industry. I think also because of low manufacturing, easy to produce goods, electronic items like, I would say, gadget cleaners, cables, wireless chargers, these kind of things that have really good demand in the US and can be created as a niche as well. So they, pretty much contribute to this growth a lot. Okay. Jewelry, I think, again, I think whether it's handicrafts or jewelry or carpets, this is a very well-known fact. We've been doing this for years now. It's not something that we just started off right off the bat, right? It's been happening for many years, and they have India's exported gems and jewelry worth like 3,222 million. Again, these stats are all from May 22. So versus about 2,968 in the previous year. So again, there has been a year of about 8.6% year on year. We've been seeing that growth. So that's again one of those segments that we have seen, that a lot of these export items, which are also very prevalent on the marketplaces. And finally, again, India's handicraft exports, carpets being one of them. We exported about 127.26 worth of carpets in May 2022. Now, again, I mean, like I said, these are just export numbers, but they also have quite a demand on the marketplaces. So definitely something that you guys can look out for, if you're looking to expand or look into which category to sell. Okay. Again, some of the metrics that I've discussed this before, like demand, revenue, these are some of the primary metrics that we look into when we are even deciding what is the right product and what really plays or rules the roost in the marketplaces. So leather and leather products are one of the highest exported products from the country, and a potential.
Priyanka, sorry, the screen is completely white. I think. Yes, perfect, perfect. Please go ahead. Sorry.
You can see, right?
Yeah, now it's fine. I think in between it's happening. So yeah, it's fine.
Okay, cool. Shall I continue?
Yep.
Okay. So again, why leather? I would say leather is among the oldest trade in the industry, in the country rather. India has strong skilled manpower, and of course, a lot of innovative technologies. India exports leather to more than 50 countries. I mean, you name it, right? US, Germany, UK, Italy, France, Spain, Netherlands, China, Belgium, UAE. Surprisingly, UAE, because even in the whole Middle Eastern region, they Iran and all, carpets are very, very nice and beautiful. So is in the case with Spain, but they're importing a lot of these things from, of course, India and Australia, Poland, Hong Kong, and again, of course, US being the biggest or the largest importer, I would say, of leather and leather products from India, and account for about 23.77% of the country's total exports during April to March 2022. Again, during this export, we've also seen that it was valued at about, I think, 1.6 billion, which is again an increase of 80% from last year. So again, it has a lot of demand. They have revenue potential of about 63.4%, 49.5% demand. Competition is still comparatively very low comparative to all the other top selling products in that category, 14.8%. And more importantly, it has about product like 72.3% product innovation scope. Now, what that typically means is that there's a scope for creating a unique product by innovating the existing product. That's also a score that we kind of give out, which is, what you can do from an existing product, and there are different ways of innovation. For an example, I would say A smartphone holder which has a leather wallet can have like a RFID protection. So those are some of the unique things that you can incorporate in a leather item as well, and that is what we kind of inculcate in a innovation scope. Okay, so yeah, looking at these again, I'm going to just cover quickly what has been a particularly high profitable product in that particular segment. So for electronics, as you can see, the opportunity score was 78.7% based on the different metrics that I've discussed before. AirPods and gadget cleaning kits has been really like, taking off in terms of customer interest in some of those most popular categories on Amazon. This product was always there, but again, the pandemic did, there was constant need for cleaning and disinfecting and all of that. So this became one of the popular ones. Smartphones and laptops regularly have increased this popularity of cleaning all of these things, plus especially being at home, dust and everything coming and sticking together. I think there are also not many competitors in this product. It's a low competition product. It's in a particular niche, and also the overhead costs are really low. So it makes it like a ideal product. Okay.
Priyanka, what exactly is PIS index?
So that is the score, the product innovation scope that I talked about.
Oh, okay.
That
Got
is
it.
PIS index. So
Got
the
it.
scope of your product to really innovate from an existing
Innovate.
product. Yeah.
Understood. Sure.
Some score that this is something which is very internal that we do
Okay.
for every product that we're kind of analyzing. And these are some of the metrics, core metrics that we look into.
And all these matrices that you're currently talking about, demand, revenue, potential, is something that you would be sort of taking the data from different sources and then analyzing them and
From
basing
Amazon
basis
itself
that.
as well, and of course,
Great.
sellers and seller data, all of those data. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Please go ahead.
So again, I've like divided into different categories. So for electronics, this has been the top one, and I didn't want to take just like I want to take a little different one, which is not just a very basic thing that we all know about. So that's this. Of course, home and kitchen, again, vegetable chopper. Again, it's like again, I think the PIS index for this should be very high, and there's a lot of scope to innovate this product. So I think it comes in those top categories. Again, there's, I don't know why, but there's no very low competition here and low overhead cost also. So you definitely have a good potential niche in your hands when it comes to chopper, and you can always innovate this product and create like a USP which is very personal to just you, and is just competition is missing. And you're gonna stand out from the rest of the crowd. So you definitely have a lot of scope for doing that. I think the third one here, I mean, you can see the product's score here, right? It's pretty good.
Right. Correct.
So the profitable product in the home and kitchen category has been this multiple storage box. I think it's a fantastic product in this category. Again, people in the US, especially living in the young population, love living in the urban areas, do kind of struggle with space, and they have a lot of space constraints in their home apartments, and they look for efficient ways to store items, which is why I think IKEA is really big also in the US and all these other countries, because they come with these cute things to kind of storage boxes and those kind of things. So again, that's where the storage boxes kind of come into prominence, where there's definitely a need to utilize the little space that you have in countries like this. And it has a very, very high, as you can see, it has a very, very high revenue potential compared to the rest of the niches in the category. Also, there are not a lot of competitors in this particular niche, and again, the overhead costs are pretty low, so it makes it a good product. Okay, I think this is the next one. Also, the category that I have is beauty. I'm sorry, beauty, and this face massager. I have personally also researched on Amazon for myself, and I have seen this kind of pop up so many times. So this is also such a, it's one of the most easy to manufacture products that cost you less to really produce, but you can you can reward and get with like good profit margins. And I see a lot of nowadays, even on Instagram or even on other social media channels, I'm seeing a lot of influencer marketing happening when it comes to like massaging, and even celebrities like kind of propagating. It doesn't have to be this one, but generally a face massager of the sort with the jade material, and that stone which is prominent in China, I think, green color stone, and it's very like prominent these days. So this is something that I've also personally seen a lot of people kind of talk about. It has an opportunity score of about 72.46, which is again making it.
Priyanka, the screen is again white. I'm not sure. I think there's some. It's yeah. It's fine now.
I don't know what's happening.
So
Yeah, a lot
exactly,
of
exactly.
my hands are here.
Sure, please.
Okay, you can see it, right?
Not again. It's again white.
Oh my God, what's happening?
Yes. Perfect. Right now, yeah. Right now it's perfect.
I don't know. It's moving on its own. Okay, we're good.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've covered pretty much all the profitable products here. Of this is it has a good score. It has good revenue potential. Again, low overhead cost, low competition. So it makes it a good product.
So Priyanka, we have one question from the participant that is something that it's very relevant right now. Like
Sure.
you talked about a few products, and this is just something on the sort of top of the surface that this is something that they can sell. But how does one prioritize? How does a seller prioritize which product to go into? Like again, we can have 10 or 15 products. Do they have to go try one product and see the sales happening and then expand into new products, or can they try multiple products at the same time? What should be the strategy?
I mean, it comes with a lot of things, right? Of course, it comes with capital, it comes with your marketing strategy, how much advertising are you going to do for that, what budget you have for that, what is your target optimization, what's your audience. It comes with all of those factors that you want to look into, which marketplace you're getting into. There's a lot of research that happens behind the scenes as well. But I think just to choose the right product, all these metrics that I talked about, right? You want to make sure you have a good profit margin. You want to make sure that what costs are involved with sourcing the product, what costs are involved in even if there's a scope for innovating, if there's a scope to expand to other marketplaces. Let's say I'm selling a product, let's say I'm selling a leather, for instance. I'll take the example because I've just talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm selling leather in India. Of course, there is a great market here, but there's also a good market in the rest of the world. So you want to choose a product which there is a scope of expansion. I mean, you have to take all of these into consideration. I can't pinpoint on just one metric or two metrics. You need to look at it more holistically, I would say.
Okay, got it. Understood. And one other question, which is again very relevant right now, since we are talking about it, is around the exports that we see for electronic products. So the seller is asking that the export of electronics seems to be very high compared to the categories. So is it that 100% of this exports is happening on e-commerce or marketplaces, or also it is B2B or enterprise companies selling to other companies? So
Everything.
some view on that.
That's why I mentioned this is not specific to the e-commerce marketplace. What
Okay.
I've seen, this is a total export that India has done to these different countries, and that is the number that we are, like I spoke about in the presentation. But what I also mentioned is the products that I'm talking about in terms of the top exports from India cumulatively also happen to be top selling products on the e-commerce marketplace. But the
Okay.
number that I specifically shared or talked about in the presentation is only an export figure, which is not just Amazon or just the e-commerce marketplace figure.
Understood. Sure. Got it. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so a little bit about SellerApp now. We're towards the end of the presentation, so I'll quickly run you through this and tell me if you can still see my screen, or is it?
It's completely okay. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So SellerApp is a leading data analytics platform which combines, of course, data, technology, and intelligence to empower all sorts of sellers, whether you're a beginner level, intermediate, or of course a advanced level power seller, Amazon seller, or now we're also helping Flipkart and Walmart now, so in the US as well as in India. So we use next gen AI and ML models to kind of help businesses drive profitability and really ace your Amazon game. Now, a couple of things that we do, I'm going to make it really quick and short. I don't want to dwell too much into it, but some of those primary things that we do, apart from, of course, data analysis, business monitoring, reporting. Of course, we take pride in our market intelligence data. and advertising automation. So we provide the best infrastructure to understand your current rankings and positions of your SKUs, inventories, Q&A, negative reviews, unanswered Q&As, and of course enable brand monitoring. That is what we cover in business monitoring. Market intelligence data again gives you smart, actionable, data related to your current SKUs, listings, SFR changes, BSR movements, best-selling rank movements, then also your customer feedback, and streamlines your product-related data needs. Ad automation, I think if you're selling on any e-commerce or even on social media, you know how important it is to advertise and promote your product. So, our advertising feature and automation helps you in defining your campaigns, your strategy, your goals, and really platform executing automatically everything. So, what it includes typically day parting, custom rules is what we have. Also, again, very internal thing that we have created for our customers. Insights, sales analytics, profit and loss calculation, customer reviews, requests, and all of those things. So we pretty much do that. And what I also want to say that we have it for all. It's like a one. It's like a fully inclusive, one stop shop, one size everything for all sorts of customers. Beginner level platform. So whether you're at a platform level, if you want to just do it yourself, there's a freemium model that we have where you can come to our platform and just figure out, the platform, the dashboard, and do your researches on your own. We also have something for the intermediate level. Again, product intelligence is one feature where it really helps you to make smart decisions with data driven insights, actionable insights, for sales estimates, make informed product decisions better, that results and fit in your own needs and business aspirations. So again, we have sales dashboard. I'm not going to go into detail into all of this, but just off the high level, I'm going to tell you about it. Like sales dashboard really helps you to grasp all of those sales data, analyze and keep track of the numbers of how you're selling, your Amazon business is faring. Also employs immediate tasks to kind of keep your sales and orders intact. So, if there's inventory, when you need to stock up and so on and so forth. Of course, advertising tool really equips you with private label sellers, brands, advanced PPC management tools to, we have those optimization strategy, focused on building a really strong foundation that really ensures long-term profitability and sales of your product. Again, product research is what I also talked about, where you get all these metrics and talk about and really understand where we need to get into, or even where you want to start selling, which is the product that you really even want to begin with, right? If you are into that space, or looking to sell or start your Amazon business, for instance. So really kick off your product research ideas and data from it. You can find all those product niches, demands, best sales, highly profitable products, low competition products. Again, with keyword research, you'll understand what keywords to be included in the listings, what are some of those competitors using in your listings, which you can kind of, which maybe you've not used, but you want to, take cues from them and kind of use them in your own thing. So last but not the least, I would talk about managed services. Again, if you want us to do the heavy lifting and the hand holding for you, then we also have a team of experts which are working down the clock for you 24/7, available with customer support, where they would manage your accounts and do the advertising automation for you. And you can strategize more on the expansion bit, or even looking to just grow your brand or create that brand awareness. So we've really helped, of course, increase their sales by like help clients increase their sales by over 20%, while even bringing down their A cost by up to like 30% over time. Of course, that happens, and it's like different clients will work differently. Their campaigns are going to be different, but I'm just telling you like an average. This is what we've done. Some of our top-notch Amazon PPC marketing service also have enabled them to amplify their market share and really brand visibility, leading to more customers, more repeat orders, and so on. So of course, product listing optimization is definitely a service, where we talk about keyword analysis, integrating and including high converting keywords in your listings, and so on. We also work with larger agencies where, if you are looking to grow your agency business, which are managing multiple brands, then we also do the heavy lifting for that bit as well. So we have, please do visit sellerapp.com and you'll see different segments that we cater to and what all we do. And we also have a freemium model. If there's a no credit card connect, you can sign up and check out the platform and dashboard for yourself. So that is
Yes. So Priyanka, on that we do have some questions around. Since you have mentioned about the advertisement support that you provide, so one of the sellers is actually asking that what is the best way to manage a cost on Amazon, and also the seller is interested in knowing what are the charges that you have for providing advertisement services. So I'm sure you would be very interested in talking to this seller, maybe over email or something.
Yes, absolutely. So like I said, this is like some of the solutions. I would also like to know what level of sellers are you? So here, as I said, in terms of we have a freemium model where, if you're a beginner seller, you can do it yourself, you do it your own. But if you're looking for us to kind of manage the business, we do have a customized pricing, which we can cater to, and you can definitely talk to our team, our sales experts, and of course our customer success experts, and we can define like a price point for you. But it's starting at I think 799 for the managed services bit. But we also have plans which are as low as for $999 and for $9 as well.
Got it.
So you
And
can definitely visit like SellerApp.com and go to the pricing page. You'll have for different segments what all you need. Also, we have limits, right? So freemium model, obviously, you'll have limitations on keyword researches. You'll have limitations on how many you can do, like let's say 10 researches per day. So of course, if you want to increase that limit, you can subscribe to the higher price plan, of course.
got it. Understood. And whosoever has any other question, please feel free to put it in Q&A, and we'll be taking that question. One other very specific question, Priyanka, and this is again sort of a vague one, but the seller is saying that they did some research on a fitted sheet. That's one of the products in the bedsheet category, and they launched with their brand, and they have also mentioned the ASIN, but they are telling that they have tried everything, but it's just not selling. So, what do you suggest here?
Well, I mean, I would like to know how many like products do they have within that category. Also, there are a lot of other information that I would need. So, best way would be to either write to me, or what we can do is get on a call, because this can't be discussed like this right now.
Definitely.
We need
Yeah.
more information, of course, on what you have done, what your marketing strategy has been, how your product listing has been, what have you done for the discoverability or desirability of the product, how is it ranking on the SERPs, things like that, and also what goals you have in mind in terms of advertising, marketing. We have to discuss a lot of those things before we can come for a solution and give something out to you. So I think best thing is
Right.
either reach out to us. I can definitely schedule a call, and maybe we can talk in person, or you can write to me at support@sellerapp.com, or schedule a call and we can take it from there.
Sure. Great. And one other very interesting question that they are interested in knowing about a affiliate program that might be there for SellerApp. So yeah, please reach out to uh, Ms. Priyanka. I have shared her email
Yeah,
and
this is the
also the
last
support
slide
one.
is like, you have all the information. You can sign up, you can schedule a call. There are CTAs available there. You can also email us at support@sellerapp.com and have someone like call you, speak to you, and we will probably give you some information, and we can get on a call and discuss all of these questions that
Great.
you have there. Because
Great.
this will not be, I won't be able to do justice and answer this question for you in like a minute. I would need a
Exactly.
lot of things from you too before I even give out a solution. So don't think I'm
Exactly.
dodging it or I'm
Exactly.
not answering it, but it's just by knowing this, I can't answer your question, to be honest.
Completely makes sense, Priyanka. So I suppose we have catered to almost all the questions. So thanks a lot for your inputs here, Priyanka. I'm sure the sellers and all the attendees that we have had got a lot of information around what exactly they have to sell, or what is the innovation that they can bring, or any specific products category or products that they have they can target. So thank you for your inputs on that, and thanks everyone for attending the session. We hope you learned something from the session, and we'll definitely be going ahead and having more such sessions for you. So thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you for having me over, and please write and please schedule a call, and I'm happy to talk to each one of you and go over your queries and help you in ways that you want to be helped in.
Sure. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.